Howdy folks, how are we and how's the sound? Let me know how the sound is. I'll bring the microphone a bit closer. Just a bit closer. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Stay microphone, stay. I wanted to get, well I did get like one of those stands from a microphone so I could bring it closer to me. But it doesn't fit my desk. My desk is a really weird desk. So, Socials York's Daddy, what quiz did you miss last week? What was last week? It was How to Train Your Dragon. The next quiz, which is Wednesday 8 PM, is going to be on Futurama. Finally! It finally won a poll. For those who don't know, I've been wanting to do a Futurama quiz for ages, but it never won a poll. This is the first time it's won. I'm like, yes! And I'm having so much fun working on the quiz. I've been working really hard on I've only done a few questions, but it's so fun because I'm so passionate about the show and I know little details that I'd love to turn into a question. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So tonight, let me know if I'm peaking, by the way, folks. I've turned volume up a bit more than usual just to make it easier. So tonight I'm going to be going through my picks for the top 5 90s Disney songs. That is what's been voted for Monday's Viewer's Choice. For those who don't know, on Mondays I let all my fans decide what I do on Twitch, and this is the topic you chose. So yeah, we're going to be going through my picks for the top 5 best Disney songs from the 90s. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It got hard once I narrowed it down to like 6 of them. Then I was like, which one do I take out? Which one do I take out? That's where it was really hard. I feel more sorry for my friend Karanson, who does the music and sound consulting for my channel. He is currently working on a video that's called Top 5 Best and Worst Disney Renaissance Songs. So he had to do it. He had to go a step further. He had to count more films, and he had to also do a worst list as well. And I've seen the considerations he's had. We're kind of similar as well. So like when his video comes out, don't accuse him of being a ripoff. We just happen to have very similar kind of taste when it comes to songs, it seems. Someone is spamming. Okay. How do I get rid of you, Mr. Spam? Where are you? How do I get rid of it? Oh, yeah, block. Block! Okay, does that delete the message, though? Ah, it doesn't matter anyway, it's blocked. Sod off, spam! Spam, spam, spam! We also have spam, 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 and spam! Okay. I will start the countdown soon. I'm going to give people a chance to join the stream. Some people might not have seen the announcement on my channel yet. I'm doing the stream, so give people a chance to join in. Today I've been working on the script for my review of the 60s original Mothra vs. Godzilla. I love the film. I really love the film. So I was really careful about how I wrote the script. I really wanted it to be good. Nathan Legundo asks, who are your favourite Tiny Toons characters? I've not watched Tiny Toons since I was a kid, if I'm honest. It's been a very, very long time. I've really not revisited it. I've just not gone back to it. I grew up with it, like a lot of Warner Brothers 90s cartoons, but yeah, not gone back to it. Howdy, Sora. Lovely to see you. Fantastic. Lovely. So, what's someone else asked? Curse Monster, have you watched Hell of a Boss yet? Yes, I've seen the original pilot. Really liked it. Really enjoyable. Love the humor. Love the character dynamic. It's very entertaining. I've not watched the others though. Evan J. Sims, is that Godzilla film a guilty pleasure of yours? You mean Mothra vs. Godzilla? No, it's not a guilty pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a really good film. I'd say it's got a reputation of being known as like one of the best Godzilla films ever, and like I get why. I totally get why. It's a very good film, considering all the like standards of tropes of kaiju cinema. Like it really pushes what you'd expect from a typical kind of Godzilla film. But also keep in mind that Godzilla and Mothra don't fight until an hour in, and the fight's like 4 minutes long. So to say that like that's the case and it's still a great film is saying a lot. Yeah, I've already blocked them. I've already blocked the spammer. The legend streams. I would not go as far as calling myself a legend. I'm mythical. Right, let's do this. Let's do this countdown. I've given people a chance to all come into the stream. Now it's time to do it. It's time to reveal them. Yeah, okay. So, for my number 5 of top 5 90s Disney songs is I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. I think the orchestration's amazing, and the way it utilizes the instruments to create its impact is fantastic. It's so important that the song comes off strong because of the thematic elements and the tone and the vibe it needs to get across, and this sense of motivation. The narrative structure of the whole song is perfect because the song chronicles Mulan's journey without ever undermining or rushing over those important beats we need to get across to the audience. It's a song that tells a vital part of the story while also being so entertaining, and it's easy to sing along to, which is a very distinct appeal for any great Disney song. Yeah, like every time if you put the song on, no matter what, I'll just sing my heart out to it. My voice will boom, and like it's so motivational, it's so inspirational. Like, if you are ever worried about something, or if you're ever insecure about something, just throw the song on and you're like, yeah, I'm down for this, I got this. Like, you could play it for workouts, you could play it before an exam, you could play it before a date, you could play it before a business meeting with a scary boss. Like, it's so good for those kinds of things. Like, so it has a purpose outside of the film as well. And I love that Donny Osmond goes against his image to prove that he has the vocal range to pull off Li Shang's confidence, his mystique, and his masculinity. I think that's really commendable. So what I want to know from you all is, what do you think of this song? What do you think of I'll Make a Man Out of You? What are your thoughts? What is fan? Listen to it before someone out. I should try that. Social Looks Daddy says amazing. Yes. Professor Crank says I would play it while grinding against bosses in FF games. Yes. Be so good for playing in a hard game. Sora Star, I love that one. Oh my god, I listen to it when I'm working out. It's so good. See, I was right. It's a great workout song. Professor Krang also says it's one of their favorites. Really good, awesome. They feel good. Probably the best song in Mulan, and is really powerful. Yeah, I would agree. It's the best song in the whole of Mulan. As much as I love Mulan, I don't think it has some of the best songs in Disney history. Like, they're not bad songs, but when you listen to the soundtrack, it's like, yeah, that's good. But then you got I'll Make a Man Out of You, and it just, it's got this, and it just stands out. Evan J. Sims, I agree with you in every way, although I don't think it's appropriate to sing before your boss meeting. Oh, it is. If you want to go into a boss meeting, you want to feel confident, and you want to get a promotion, you play that song before you go and you're like, yeah, I'm getting that promotion. Professor Crank says it's probably top 5 Disney films right now. Interesting. I don't know if I put it in my top 5 if I redid my top 5. I might have done though, because I really do love the Mulan movie. So yeah, does anyone else have anything else to say about this song? About I'll Make a Man Out of You, which is my number 5 spot for this countdown? Evan J. Sims, the boss will fire you. It depends what you go in with. It depends what you take from the song and what you go in with. Like, I'm not saying go into a meeting with a boss singing that song. I'm saying use that song as inspiration to boost your energy, to boost your confidence. Fan, I also really like Reflection, though. I'd say those are the great Mulan songs. Yeah, Reflection's definitely the second best Mulan song. I do like that. But, like, as a whole, when you really look at all the soundtrack together, you're kind of like, I'll Make a Man Out of You. That's the standout one. That's the highlight. Professor Crank, I think the thing I really like, the fact that other characters chime in as well, makes the song more relatable. Yes, that's really good as well, because Mulan's not just about Mulan. It's about all these other characters. And it's like I said before, it's got a narrative structure. And the other characters are in that narrative. They're there. Like, they're training too. They're wanting to prove themselves in the army too. And Li Shang's trying to prove his abilities as a general. And that's all under a few minutes. When you watch those few minutes, all those beats are there. And, like, they didn't need to be any longer. They didn't need to be any shorter. And the song still fits. And it's so important for a musical to have a song with a purpose. So important. So vital. Okay, let's move on to my number one. Okay, top 5 90s Disney songs. What is my number? Oh, okay. Social studies got one more thing to throw in before I go to number 4. The whole film is a decent deconstruction of gender stereotypes. 100% agree. It's one of my favorite things about it. Get goosebumps when you see those like hyper macho soldiers having to like cross dress to get into the palace. I love that. Love it. So yeah, my number 4 pick for top 5 90s Disney songs is I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules. Like, let's be honest. Susan Egan's the reason this song's so great. She has this beautiful singing voice, absolutely gorgeous. She's been given lots of opportunities to sing for cartoons she's been in before, and this one is like one of the finest examples of her doing that, and the filmmakers utilizing her style of singing as well. And I like that the gospel choir complements Egan's voice while also providing this back and forth argumentative rhythm that's both funny, super catchy, and just plays into Meg as a character in this scene, in this moment. The song mainly works because Meg isn't your archetypal Disney female lead. She's dry and sarcastic, but is hiding a deep pain underneath her coolness. There's no other Disney love song like this because of the very nature of her character and the fact that Herc isn't duetting with her. It's about her feelings. It's about how she feels, and that's something empowering. It explores Meg's internal thoughts with a stark realism, showing that romantic feelings aren't always straightforward or plain to see. Meg's contemplations are frustrating, stressful, and painfully vague. She's divided between her guilt over working for Hades and her beating heart for this dopey demigod. I love it. I really do love this song. So what do you all think of that song? Definitely going to... Hercules has such an awesome soundtrack. It does, but that's the one that I think is the standout. That's the one that has the most depth. Like, all the songs in Hercules are fun, but I feel like that one has the most depth and complexity and the one that takes the most risks in terms of Disney songs. Professor Grant, fantastic song. Gospel girls make the soundtrack so unique for its time. I agree, no other love songs like it, in Disney films I mean. So she looks daddy, and Meg tries to take agency within her trap situation. Yes, exactly. Sora Star, that one is in my cabaret set when I do my song set. Brings out my inner tsundere. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. What is fan interesting? I like the song, but I don't love it. I love it. I genuinely love it. And what's interesting is that originally this wasn't going to be my top 5 list, because then I remembered, oh yeah, there's that song as well. And I was like, that's going in! It's getting in there somehow. Otis fan, interesting. I like the song, but oh yeah, yes, I've read that. Oh, Evan J. Sims, even though it's underrated, I don't think this is the standout track in Hercules. I know the most popular one for people is Zero to Hero or I Can Go the Distance, and I like them. But like, I'd say Zero to Hero is a bit too short. I Can Go the Distance, I'm a bit shaky on. Yeah, but like, I Won't Say I'm in Love, I just adore it, absolutely adore it. It might not be as lively and colourful as the other songs, but I feel like sometimes the quieter songs can be more impactful than a song that's in your face. And this is a great example of that. Professor Krang, it's hard to choose a favourite song in Hercules, but that song definitely has the most depth. Good choice. Thank you. I'm glad I threw it into the top 5 at the last minute. So does anyone else have any thoughts on I Won't Say I'm in Love? Sorry, Star, it's a lot better than I Can't Believe My Heart, that she was supposed to sing instead. Ooh, tell me more, Sora. Tell me more. What's that all about? I Can't Believe My Heart. It sounds like the same kind of, like, message it ended up being, but, like, I'm wondering what it's like. It's a slow ballad. Oh, no. That would not fit Meg. That would really not fit Meg. That really wouldn't. It's the same message but slow. Yeah, I can't imagine that working. Like Meg, yeah, is a very dry character, but she's not mopey. She's not a flat character. Like, she needs a bit of oomph there, because like as reserved as she is, she has so much personality to her. And so much depth to her. So like, I feel like the way they went was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Like, it's a quiet song, but it says so much. And you need that little bit of energy. Because when it comes to creative decisions, it's not always, I can either do this or I can either do that. It's like a sliding scale. Social Looks Daddy, it is definitely the most introspective song, but I still prefer Zero to Hero because of how lively it is. Yeah, Zero to Hero is very fun, I'll give you that. I just think it's a bit too short. That's what I've noticed. It kind of flies by. It's a great montage and a fun song, but just didn't really impact me as much because it's a bit short. The song is pretty slow, but like not that slow. It's not like a slow ballad. It's like found this medium range. Professor Crank, and in relation to other Hercules song, it's definitely slow, but has a different edge to a lot of other Disney love songs. It's about conflicting feelings, while others are like, oh wow, I have feelings, let's sing. Yes, that's really good. Yeah, it's like I said before, they're about different feelings. And it's about Meg confronting them and working out, okay, which one applies to me? Which one do I feel strongest about? Okay, so let's talk about my number one. Why do I keep saying number one? I'm so used to saying it when I'm doing countdowns because it's the most fun one to say. Number one. Okay, so my choice for number 3 of top 5 90s Disney songs goes to Friend Like Me from Aladdin. Had to be in there. You know it had to be in there. This song's appeal and strength mainly comes from Robin Williams. We all know that for a fact. His frantic, chaotic personality and constantly shifting delivery styles give this colourful momentum to the whole song. It's so good! He turns every line into something special, weird and memorable. He constantly surprises us with these different accents, impressions or cadences. At the same time though, it's a really rich contribution to the story of Aladdin. Because narratively, the song is about Genie proving his powers to Aladdin with as much conviction as he can, but it's also a chance to develop Genie's fantastical potential to audiences and get them excited for what Aladdin might wish for. It's just this fun, zany, jazzy musical number that's bursting with life and rhythm that also serves as a reminder of Robin Williams' unique charisma. No one else could have done this song, I think. No one else. So what do you all think of A Friend Like Me? Professor Current Legend, awesome choice, thank you. Which is fun. This song is so fun. It is fun. It's so fun. So it's always throwing something at the audience. There's always something there to keep you interested and like constantly demonstrate what Genie can do. Professor Current, Robin Williams, MVP supporting cast. Yes. Social York's Daddy, I still need to watch this film. Oh, definitely check out Aladdin. I love Aladdin. Aladdin is a very strong Disney film. Sorostar, not gonna lie, that would be, thought that would be your number 1. Knowing me, yeah, if you know me and what I like, typically it probably would be my number 1. But I was going less for like what songs reflect me and more like what songs really speak to me. Curse Monster. Yeah, it's criminal to miss this song. It is. It really is. I'm not sure what Karan has done for his top 5 Disney Renaissance songs list. I can't remember if he put Friend Like Me in there, but he should have done. Which is fine. I love how they made his singing sound good by only having 50% of the song sang in his actual voice and the rest done through impressions. Yes, absolutely. Professor Crank, obviously the live action isn't as good, but I like listening to the Williams and Smith remix of the song. The character's the best part of both films. Evan J. Sims, do you think this song should have won the Oscar for Best Original Song instead of A Whole New World? Oh, I don't know. But I get why A Whole New World would have won over it. I get why. I don't know. I have very complicated feelings with the Oscars, so, man. Professor Frank, all good question. Evan, Well, I'll ask the rest of chat. Do you think that Friend Like Me should have won the Oscar instead of A Whole New World? Nathan Lagandu has such an amazing. Has such an amazing and fun song. It is. And that's the thing about Aladdin, is that it needs those kinds of songs in there. Like, it has its quiet numbers, but like it needs to have that that momentum and franticness, because it's a very colourful, cartoony film with an emphasis on cartooniness and silliness. And we're almost at my number 1 pick. Almost there. We're getting closer. What could it be? Professor Crank. Personally, I prefer Friend Like Me over A Whole New World. Has more replayability, but would have won the Oscars? Nah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, personally, I like Friend Like Me more, but I get why it won the Oscar. A Whole New World is a more Oscar kind of song. Professor Crank, so many other facts with that. Evan J. Sims, 2 is next Jambareeqi, just to keep you from messing up another time. Damn it. I know 2 is next. I know 2 is coming up. Okay, so my number 2 for top 5 90s Disney songs is Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is maybe the most mature and adult Disney villain song ever written, all because it's about a repressed man's insecurities about his sexuality. It's a musical number that humanizes the film's villain, showing that he's very vulnerable under all of his fancy, schmancy power. No matter how much he tries to command himself, Frollo is haunted by the guilt of feeling the sin of lust. So the whole song is this complex, internalized conflict between Frollo's devoted faith and shameful desires. I think it's all brilliantly brought to life by Tony J as Frollo. And that Gregorian choir in the background that symbolizes his religious conscience. So good how they put those two things together. Like, it says so much, even though it's so abstract. And a big reason why Frollo is renowned for being this intricately dark villain, let's say, is because Hellfire dives into his buried psyche and strips away all his bravado, exposing him as this horny old man who is oppressed by fear and self-hatred. So yeah, what do you all think of Hellfire? Wow, lots of people very... so like, got Sora saying, oh yes! So she's Ox Daddy, ain't seen this film either, you gotta see it, definitely gotta see it. Autistic Fan, so powerful. Professor Crank, the song is so good. Okamina 999, Hellfire is definitely one of my favourite Disney songs too, fantastic. Why did I lose my place in chat? Professor Crank, it's like Jamie said early on, it has a narrative structure. It does. I think some of the best Disney songs, you could take them out of the film and they could still say so much. And even when you keep them in the film, they play their part in the film. That's what can really speak for a musical number, and Hellfire is that example. Like, you could have released Hellfire as a short, and I think it still would have had sort of the same kind of impact. It would have, because it says so much. Because it's getting across so many different themes in those few minutes. Autistic Fan, I get goosebumps every time I hear that song. Evan J. Sims, this is one of the most complex and darkest Disney songs ever made to date. Yep, it is. And I've seen every single Disney animated film, so I can probably confirm that too. It's out of all of them, it's probably the one that goes the deepest and darkest in terms of like the human condition, especially in the topic of sexuality. Professor Crank, agree with her and above. It's so good. Curse Monster. This is kind of musical number I would love to see in other Disney musicals. Not necessarily in subject matter, but definitely the most complexity and narrative purpose. Yes, I really do agree with that. Yeah. Professor Crank, I have a lot of complex emotions about recent Disney soundtracks. They're good, but I don't know if they're as standout as the 90s versions. Maybe the 90s films took more risks. I don't know, because it's been a while since I've watched most like nowadays Disney animated films, so I can't really make a comparison, but I will say Hunchback is a good example of taking risks. A real good example because of where it goes, and It's possibly the most adult Disney animated film ever made. And that's saying a lot when the gargoyles are there. The gargoyles are probably the only child orientated aspect of that film. So, yeah. Any other thoughts on Hellfire? A major reason, of course, again, is Tony J. Love Tony J's voice. He's got that timbre, he's got that deep cadence. It's just so good. And I wish that Hollywood animated films utilized him way more. He should have been known for more than just Frollo. He really should have. He just had that fantastic booming voice, and he could act and sing. Like, so perfect for animation. Any honorable mentions? Nope, because I don't do honorable mentions. I never feel happy doing them. I love the challenge of, like, no, this is the top 5. No excuses. These, you have to tighten it down to these. You have to narrow it down to just these top 5. I like the challenge of that. And I feel like when I do an honorable mentions list, it just feels like I'm kind of finding an excuse to, like, slide others in their own way. And, like, it just didn't feel right. It's fine if other people do honorable mentions. If you want to do them for your countdowns, go ahead. But, like, for me, I've never felt happy doing them. Never. I like the tightness of not having honorable mentions. Okay. What is my number 1 pick? Before we do, you can guess. See if you can guess. Kind of curious what people think it might be. Considering all the songs I've just listed. So Sora's guessing Be Prepared. Evans Jason says something there from Beauty and the Beast. Professor Crank, can we narrow it down to the movie? Nope. Okay. My number 1 pick for the top 5 90s Disney songs is The Circle of Life. Yep. The Circle of Life from The Lion King. To simply put it, this is one of the greatest introductions to a film in animation cinema history. It's an opening that manages to develop the movie's societal structure and royal politics under just a few minutes, all while foreshadowing the film's messages of birth, death, and heritage. Comet Willie's lead vocals have this bold majesty, but also a sincere tenderness, which is so perfect for setting up the tone of the film we're about to see. But it's Lebo M's backing singing that's just as equally important, because it richly illustrates the African setting with this heartfelt cultural pride. Out of all the 90s Disney songs that I counted for this list, Circle of Life gives me the strongest feels, because it's so deeply rooted in African music traditions and has this powerful existential depth that's universally poignant. Like, when you hear it, when you really pay attention to the lyrics, it really makes you go to some really amazing places. And it really makes you think about the film even more on a deeper level too. Like, when you rewatch the film, you're like, oh, I see why those lyrics are like that. That makes sense. That fits into the movie. So yeah, what does everyone think of The Circle of Life? And I've just realized how bright my lighting is. Down a bit. Down a bit. Or too loud. Oh, we're turning it to horror stream now. Oh. Okay, wait, go back. I think that's maybe better. It does make me look like I'm dying, but that's probably because I have terrible skin. Oh. Or completely off. I'm distracted, sorry. I'm trying to find where it's in chat, because everyone's chatting now. Or to find, oh, I guessed it. Yep, you did. Well done, Sora Star. I was so close. The thing was, Be Prepared I was so close to putting Be Prepared in there. I really was. But I felt like all these other songs just meant more to me. I love Be Prepared. And keep in mind, any song that's not made this list, I'm not saying that's a bad song. I'm just saying these are the songs that stand out more to me, that hit me more. Hit me in special ways more. So Sora Star, that was a good one though. Thank you. Professor Crank, definitely the most popular. I wouldn't listen to it as often as others, but definitely one of the best. Yeah, that's the thing. I know it's the least accessible, probably, when it comes to, like, revisits, and it has, it has the most impact when you're actually watching the film. It's not one of those like easy listening kind of songs, so I get why you would say that. But in terms of tying into a film and really appreciating what it's setting out to do, I think it's a friggin' masterpiece. And while I really respect Hellfire for going... Thank you for following Professor Crank, by the way. As much as I love Hellfire for going into some really deep places, I personally enjoy... I enjoy content that goes into more optimistic and idealistic and existential places. I like that more than going into like the nihilism of things. So like that's why Circle of Life speaks to me more than Hellfire. But it was a pretty hard one to decide. Social Daddy, the song is in Zulu specifically. Ah, interesting. Okamina 999. Circle of It's a song that I didn't care much for as a kid, but I appreciate it more as an adult. Yeah, I can see why. When you're a kid, it's just the intro of the film. But when you go back to it as an adult, you notice its maturity. You can hear the complexity and the work and effort and passion that went into it, and the cultural importance of it as well. I'm trying to catch up with chat now. Nifl Gandu, it is such an iconic opening and has an epic scope to it. Yep, it really fits the visuals. It really does. Autistic Fan, that opening is so good. Disney cleverly used it as the trailer. Oh, yes, yeah. Professor Crank, I think the reason it's such a big song is that it was so new for its time. Name another film during that time that went into African culture musically, and especially immediately as well. Like, the first song, like, right away is like, this movie is pure African roots. This is it. This is it. Get ready. I love that. I love that. So much pride. Cooper Dude, Circle of Life is the definition of making a great first impression. Yes, exactly. It's like I said before. It's like, as soon as you hear it, you know what you're in for. You know what you're ready for. Curse Monster. After seeing the musical so many times, I could definitely see why you chose this. I need to see the Lion King musical. It's just that I live all the way up in the north of England, and all Broadway musicals, all the big musicals, all the expensive musicals, they get played in London, and that means we're all the way down to London, which means going to the London Underground. Damn the London Underground. So yeah, I've not really... It's rare that I've gotten a chance to see one of these big Broadway productions. I think one of the only times I managed to go was for Wicked, and I went with my college class. Evan J. Sims. Uplifting songs are my favourite kind of music. Yes. Professor Crank, great list. Thank you very much. Sorostar. It always makes me think of happy times when my dad would play piano because we had a Disney piano bug and would sing and dad would play, and Circle Life was his favourite one. Oh, that's sweet. Very sweet. So yeah, those are my choices. Now, the last thing I'm going to do in this stream is I'm going to ask all of you, not for your top 5, because then we'll be here all day, but what is your number 1 favourite 90s Disney song? What would you say is your number 1 favourite, like out of all of them? Which would you put at your number 1 spot? Okamina says Savages from Pocahontas. It's very catchy, very catchy. There's a parody of that song as well that you have to see. It's Cabbages. It's literally just this guy going, cabbages, cabbages, barely even sandwiches, or something like that. It's great. You gotta see it. Howdy Cameron, Sorastar. It's probably Hellfire and Colours of the Wind. Ah, yeah. I'm not gonna say in front of Colours of the Wind. That can give spoilers for something. Or Autisvan. I can't decide. Favourite songs of any kind are hard for me. Fair enough. Cameron, A Whole New World. Good choice, good choice. Very romantic song. Evan J. Sims, either Beauty and the Beast or You'll Be My Heart from Tarzan. I did consider a couple of Tarzan songs, but when I narrowed it down, it's like, yeah, I love them. I love them more as Phil Collins songs than as songs in the film. Like, they have their place in the film, but something I've kind of realized when I rewatched these songs was, you know what, these songs would have way more of an impact if the characters were singing them. But that's just me. That's just me. I love Phil Collins to bits. He is a national treasure in my country. But I feel like, yeah, I came to realize after researching this for this stream that I appreciate Tarzan songs more as Phil Collins songs. Professor Crank, Hellfire is probably my favorite song, followed by Friend Like Me, Make a Man Out of You, and Into the Unknown. Interesting. We have a very similar taste then. Social York's Daddy, not my favorite, but I like Phony King of England. That's more 70s, isn't that? What's that from? It sounds like that's the song from Robin Hood. Howdy Zelda. Professor Crank. Oh, and Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. No one like Gaston. It's got a fantastic rhythm to it. Really fantastic rhythm. There's a video you have to see. I can't remember what it's called. But like, someone put together a clip of Gaston saying, "You should have seen Maurice. He was ranting and raving," and it shows a clip of Maurice with like glow sticks and like dance music going. It's so dumb and I love it. You gotta find it. I replayed that clip so many times. Cameron, it isn't a 90s song, but my favorite Disney song is Your Heart Will Lead You Home from the Tigger movie. Is that... I can't remember which song. I really like the song that they play in the Tigger movie trailer. I've always loved that song, and I can't remember what it was. Evan J. Sims, fun fact, Your Bleeding Heart ended up winning the Oscar for Best Original Song that year. Yep, it did, and that was the year that South Park, the movie that had Blame Canada, winning an Oscar, well, nominated for an Oscar. There's a lot of story behind that I'm not getting into. There's a whole history of that. There's a saga behind that. But definitely look into it. It's kind of funny. Yes, we're on about 90s Disney songs. Cooper Dude, does this is Halloween count? If you're counting the rules I use for this stream, it wouldn't count because it wasn't produced by Disney's main animation studio. I was only counting them because the thing is, if I didn't have any rules for this countdown, if I had 0 rules, all of the choices would just be songs from a Goofy movie, and you know it. The only reason I had the rule for just their main animation studio, which is Walt Disney Animation Studios, if I didn't have that rule in place, it'd just be a countdown of Goofy movie songs, and you'd all get friggin' bored, and there'd be no surprises. So I had to put that rule in place. Curse Monster, I See the Light is my favourite. I remember the first time I saw the moment from the first time in cinema, and was absolutely blown away by the visuals. Oh, that's cute. Social York's Daddy, in that case, the mob song from Beauty and the Beast. Forgot what that sounds like now. I'm getting it mixed up with Savages because they're kind of they've got that same mob mentality rhythm to them. Professor Shrek, now Shadow Daddy, it was just fave songs, wasn't it? No, this is top 5 90s Disney songs. If we were doing all time, that would be a lot more different, I would say. Zelda, I always liked A Whole New World. Second person to say that. Interesting. Professor Grant, what about underappreciated Disney song? All the songs from a Goofy movie. I'm sticking by it. They're the greatest songs that have ever been made under the Disney brand, under the Disney label. I'm standing by that. That's something I honestly, sincerely believe. And I feel as if a Goofy movie is the most underrated animated film ever made. And this is why that rule was put in place, so then you didn't have to put up with me with my usual fanboying over the Goofy movie. You're like, just shut up. Kill the Beast, that's it. Kill the Beast. Kill the Beast. Kind of curious how everyone's going to react to Karan's top 5 best and worst Disney Renaissance songs video now, based on what's been said in here, because I kind of know what he's going to go for. I've been helping him pick, and like, there are some choices in there. I'm like, are you sure? that same mob from Beauty and the Beast is going to come after you, Karan. You sure you want to put that on your worst? He should be working on that hopefully next month. He's just managed to get his own place finally. He's finally got his own apartment. He's going to move there and he's going to work on that video. So make sure you subscribe to Karan's channel. I think it's Son Karan or Karan. I tell you what, I'm going to look for it. If I'm going to plug him, I'm going to get it right. I really want everyone to subscribe to his channel because you got to wait for that video. I'm going to be making a cameo in it as well. And like I said, I helped him out a bit. There we go, I've got it. There, so if everyone subscribes to Karan, you'll be able to see what his choices are. And he'll be including the entire Renaissance films and a worst list. Because I've retired that, he's carrying it on. So yeah, look out for that. Definitely look out for that. So she looks, Daddy, through the mist, through the woods, through the mist, through the woods, through the darkness and the shadows. It's a nightmare, but it's an exciting ride. Yeah, I got it. And no, I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna sing more often because I hate my singing voice. I'm trying to learn, but I don't think I'm good. I have contemplated like doing like some kind of karaoke stream before, but like I feel as if after doing one song, people are like, no. No! Stop! I don't think my singing is like so bad it's good. It's just bad. Like Karan says that I'm good at getting the rhythm of songs, but my scales are all over the friggin' place. So again, if you can subscribe to Son Karan's channel, it's in the chat. It's in the chat right now. If you can subscribe to that. So it's youtube.com/SonKaran. Zelda, a solo Disney 90s song is Be Prepared. That's definitely a solo song. Well, kind of, the hyenas dive in, but it's more like speaking parts. Autistic fan, anyone can be a good singer, it just requires practice and knowing what notes and you can and can't sing. I know that. I've been trying to work those things out, but it's just finding the time. Time's been my biggest enemy. Professor Crank, 3 cheers for Jambareeqi. Post a beer in chat. Oh, thank you. I don't drink beer, though. I drink cocktails. That's what I do. I love my tropical cocktails. When I was working at a restaurant, my main job was kitchen porter, which meant, like, dishwashing and stuff like that and keeping things kind of tidy. But another thing I kind of did was, after work, the bartenders would experiment with new drinks for the restaurant, and I was like their guinea pig. So I'd finish work, and then I'd just get a load of free drinks, and then just give my verdict on each drink. And they knew I was like a massive cocktail fan as well. So that's why they kind of trusted my opinion on the cocktails. I don't think anyone else is really into cocktails at the restaurant. But that was awesome. That was so awesome. I pitched names for cocktails as well, but I don't think any of them landed. But sometimes I would also challenge the bartenders after work. I would go online and find like some weird cocktail names based on films or cartoons and say like, can you make that? Can you do that? I even got one of them to make a Flaming Moe's from The Simpsons. It was awesome. So good. I was always like thinking, what can I try? And what can I get them to have a go at? It was really good fun. One of the rare things I enjoyed about that job. Curse Monster, I can attest even as a good singer that I cringe deeply at watching my past performances of me singing. Oh, bless you. Sophie Jocks Daddy, beer is better with lime in. I don't even like a beer on its own. I love Bailey's. I love Bailey's. Bailey's and coffee, but that's because I'm a coffee fan. Cameron, also I said the last stream that I had a job interview, I didn't get it. I'm really sorry, very sorry about that. I know the feelings you're probably going through right now, but like, don't let it be a deterrent. Don't let it uninspire you or make you feel like you've not got a chance next time. Keep going. Just keep going. You're gonna land one eventually. You really will. And I say this as someone that has sometimes spent the whole year trying to find a job. Like, you get there eventually. And I have more faith in you than me, so I think you're definitely going to get a job. You're going to get a job much faster than like a year. I'm very sure of it. Yeah, like you said, there's another chance. You're always going to have another chance. And you can learn from previous job interviews as well. Like, look back on the job interview and like speculate, okay, what did I do that time and how could I do it better next time? I've been through so many job interviews there. I've just gone numb. Just gone numb to the point where I'm like, just do whatever and say whatever. Oh no, one time though. One time, okay, I went to this job interview at my local shopping centre. And it was for like cleaning the food court. And first of all, it was a creepy job interview. It was like a group interview, but it was like a whole presentation in this, like, it was like a presentation in like a ballroom or something. It was really weird. And it had this cultish kind of atmosphere to it. It was really weird. And the person in charge was like, Meadowhall. Meadowhall is the name of the shopping centre. She's like, Meadowhall is the most important thing about Sheffield, my city. So it's the most integral. It's the heart of Sheffield. It's so important, and you must love Meadowhall. Meadowhall is life. Meadowhall is everything. Not to that extent, but it sounded like it. So there was that. There was already that red flag. And then when we had the solo interviews, I found out that the next time we had to come in, I had a date, and I was like, I'm not cancelling a date for this cultish job. So I spent the entire job interview trolling them, being like, I don't know. It was both kind of scary and awkward, but also kind of fun. Because I was also thinking, hey, I want this date to work. I've been looking forward to this, and I kind of don't want this job, so it was kind of worth it. kind of dodged a bullet there. I'm gonna head off very soon as well. I need to get on with my Mothra vs. Godzilla review, and I feel like I've gotten through the whole topic already by now. By beer, I mean lager specifically. I'm not a fan of ale or bitter. I can't tell them apart. They all taste like brown water to me. I'm sorry, I don't like beer. I don't get it. I don't get its appeal. Social Duck Daddy sounds like cringe capitalist propaganda. Pretty much was that. It was one of the weirdest job interviews I've had. Professor Crank, if the chat is anything like Jammy, you'll get lots of positive karma. Aww. Zelda, does Anastasia count since Disney bought 20th Century Fox? It depends. This is why I put rules into my list. When I did this list, I said at the beginning I was only going to count Disney films from the main animation studio, Walt Disney Animation Studios, and Anastasia wouldn't count because of that. So yeah, that's the problem with doing Disney countdowns, is because Disney owns pretty much like everything now, you have to put some rules in place. So then when people respond to them, they're not like, hey, hang on, why isn't this there? Why didn't this count? Put some rules in and it narrows them down. It also makes it easier. There's less to watch. Cameron, thanks everyone. You're welcome. Cameron also says, I'm getting my second vaccination jab tomorrow. Ooh, good luck there. Good luck. You know what's funny is that I was severely bullied at school, and called a wimp and called weak and all that kind of crap. But one of my best friends had diabetes and had to have frequent injections, and he taught me like techniques and practices to not feel the pain. And this is when I was like 6 or 7. So, and every time it was like some kind of like school injection, every time it was that, and all my bullies would be in the same hallway getting their jabs too, I'd be like, it's nothing. And my bullies would be like crying their eyes out, and I was like, this is my moment. That was, good memories. Where am I in chat? Otis fan, what's weird is they own Ghibli, yet Ghibli is not on Disney Plus. Yeah, Ghibli is mainly on HBO Max and Netflix. It is kind of strange, but licensing is a strange world. Professor Crank, by the way, Jamie, put your GoFundMe as a link in your Twitch description so we can click on it. I don't know how to make it a pinned comment. I think that's what I've had a lot of trouble with. But it will be appreciated by everyone if you could chip into this GoFundMe so I can get much better sound to mispronounce my words into. How do I pin that comment? I don't think I can. That's the only reason I've not really put it in chat before. So I just don't know how to pin it. It's just gonna get swamped away. No, can't do it. And now I've just no, it's not worked. Now. Oh well. Cameron, I was watching Clone Wars on my phone when having my first vaccination jab, so I was distracted. Oh, good technique. That's a very good technique. What was it that I think Viva watched Iron Man while getting a tattoo? That's kind of badass when you think about it. So, like, yeah, entertainment can distract you. One time, though, the only time I've had a problem with vaccination was, there was one time where I wasn't drinking or eating very well. I went for my jab, and I felt awful. I just felt like I was about to die. And I had to rest on my bed, and I had to give him biscuits. I felt so disgusting. That's the only time I've had a bad experience, really. What am I drinking? I'm kind of darting between two drinks. So here is water, and here is coffee. Kind of depends what I'm in the mood for. Water. Coffee. Zelda, favorite Disney twist villain? I don't know. I really don't know. Because, like, I already have a bit of a relationship with twist villains. Probably Yokai from Big Hero 6, maybe. But again, these are the films that I need to revisit. Professor Crane, question. Who do you think was going to win in Godzilla vs. Kong, Team Zilla or Team Monkey? I've not seen Godzilla vs. Kong yet. And I'm not really fussed. Because I love both. I remember in a previous stream, I think I picked Zilla. But that's mainly because Zilla has, like, so many advantages over Kong. But at the same time, Godzilla does have his own disadvantages, and that's proved in his own films as well, including the one I've been reviewing. Like, Mothra has a massive advantage over him, because she can fly. Plus, in the film, she can do, like, wind gusts with her wings, and, like, some toxic spray. She's basically a Venomoth. Cameron, can I ask a question, but feel free if you don't want to answer? It'll depend on what the question is. Zelda, it's better than having COVID. I had it and it was awful. Oh, bless you. Really sorry about that. Yeah. Cameron, I've been watching the Harry Potter movies on ITV, and because of my nostalgia, I still enjoyed, but the back of mind, I don't like the creator. Is anything like that you felt the same for? Pretty much everything I watch nowadays, there's always gonna be someone there. There's always a celebrity there. It's like, oh no, why are you in this film? It's less fun now. There's so many films I avoid watching because of that, and I'm like, no, I want to rewatch that, and I can't. You get a different experience. Don't be sorry for the question. It's a totally fine question. It's relatable because you're like, yeah, like I said, I go for the same thing probably times 10, and it's frustrating because I sometimes have to bring up why it's hard to watch that film because of that celebrity. Like when I did the DCEU podcast with Viva recently, we have to talk about the whole Amber Heard controversy and how hard it made it to watch that Aquaman because of her. So yeah, it's a very universal thing if you care, which you should care about really another day. Right. Oh, okay, one more question then. Professor Crane, when's the anniversary of your channel, Jammy? I'm gonna have to double check that. I know it's in October. Let me see. This will be my ninth year anniversary this year. Where is it? 21st of October, 2012. That's when it started. Can't believe it's so close to being almost a decade. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. I started this whole thing back when I was in uni as well. That's how long ago it was. Right, I really need to get off now and get on with my Mothra vs. Godzilla 1964 review. Really, I don't have that much time to work on it, so I really got to get on with that. Yeah, 10th anniversary will be next year. That'll be next year. This year is my 9th anniversary. I have no idea if I'm actually going to do anything for it. It's kind of annoying because my anniversary is always in October, and that's why I work in Halloween content. So it's really hard to fit it in, but I'm definitely 100% going to do something next year for my 10-year anniversary. So yeah, cheerio, folks.